Hello, Hector. I am very happy to do a podcast with you. AI is a very, very, very big part of your life, and it has been for some time. And we've met working on some projects together. And I am very interested in introducing people like you to my kind of community of people so that they have a better understanding of what AI is and what it does. So, first of all, if you can give us an introduction to who you are and what you do, that would be a great starting point. So, thank you and welcome.
Hi, Norma. Thank you so much for having me. And it's a great pleasure to be here to share my understanding in AI, especially in the fashion industry. And for the last decade, I have been dealing with computer science from the database, data analytics, and all the way to the artificial intelligence. And in the past 5 years, I've been working for G42 and Inception in Middle East. Basically, the focus is on the artificial intelligence. You know, in the past 2 years, with the new wave of AI, represented by the OpenAI ChatGPT, we experienced and we observed the historical moment, a new revolution of artificial intelligence in a lot of aspects, especially on the language model, right? And we can see many people are using the ChatGPT and using a lot of AI tools. This is phenomenal, and there's no doubt that our lives, our businesses, will be impacted even further because of the advancement of AI. Norma.
Thank you. Hector, in your experience in AI, certainly had to be inspired by something. So, what was your initial interest to get deeply involved in AI the way you are?
This is a good question, Norma. The reason why is that, I have been doing database and also blockchain and also bioinformatics before I touched the AI. The inspiration for me to start, diving into the world of AI is, it's about we played Siri a long time before, and we know how to use the facial recognition. But I realized, it's kind of a disappointment for myself. Is this the best AI can do? Right? This is my question to the AI. And then, comes with the large language model or the large AI models. This is the biggest inspiration for me to finally redefine my view to the AI world. Definitely, AI can do much better than the facial recognition or the speech recognition, which we already achieved before. It can do much more. Yeah, Norma.
So, when do you think the biggest sort of push forward happened in AI? I know there have been advances, but it feels like suddenly everybody's talking about it. Everybody wants to know about it, or everybody has a fear that they are determined is the reason they're going to learn. When did that? I feel like it just happened, but I'm sure you have more information. What started the big push all of a sudden?
Yeah, we have to admit that the research in the AI has started 50 years ago, right? It started from we have the Turing machine and the first computer, and in the history we have a couple of waves of the advancement or the revolution of AI. And why, people feel suddenly we have a phenomenal breakthrough of AI is because of the large AI model. And before this, we have the expert system in AI. We have, let's say, the small or traditional machine learning algorithms. Those algorithms are not that phenomenal. Only in recent years, some leading by OpenAI and Microsoft, right? We saw the trend of using large models to address even bigger problems, and the results is a phenomenon which I personally don't believe in it before, but now it totally shocked me. Yeah, and that is the reason why in recent years we saw the people suddenly talking about it. It's because of this phenomenal breakthrough, but the research has been there for many years. Norma.
And so, what's the biggest breakthrough that you've seen in your world using AI?
Like, well, I believe many people have heard the AlphaGo. When the computer algorithm beat the world champion in chess, and then we got in the bioinformatics we have AlphaFold, which reached the best of the world in the protein structure prediction. And then recently we have the ChatGPT, which addressed the problem of a conversational system using that natural language. And personally, only my personal view, I would rank the breakthrough of the large language model as the topmost, because it touches our daily lives, right? Of course, the protein in the bio world is a huge advancement, but in the large language model, it impacts our lives directly. The way we interact with the computer, with the devices we use daily, right? And in many aspects, we can call this as the third revolution of the interactive method with machine. In the first revolution, we have typing, we have those, and second one, we kind of have voice, but it's not natural language yet. It's not that natural. It doesn't support a multi-round conversational system. But this time, this revolution, this interactive, revolution, it is something new. I would rank this as the top one event.
Yeah, it's very exciting, and I think in what do you personally think when people say AI is gonna take over the world and people won't be able to make decisions anymore and will become too dependent? What are your thoughts? Should there be a fear? What are kind of the current thoughts in the professional AI world, in the world where you're scientists, engineers, and people who are deeply entrenched? What are they thinking?
Yeah, my personal view on the technology, especially on AI, right? It is it's not it's something we shouldn't be fear of, but through the regulatory perspective or the scientific effort, we have to make sure all those advanced technologies are doing something good for the humankind instead of being a threat to us. This is a must, right? And definitely the truth is that we are relying more on the technology. We couldn't live a day without mobile phones now, and the Wi-Fi, the data. Every day we're living in a world of digital data, etc. So there's no doubt we rely on more on this. And regarding the threat, new jobs are created. Some old jobs are being kind of replaced. This is the truth. And as a humankind, right, I would say, although this is something that should be regulated and should be overseen and controlled,
Right.
but the human is curious. We are always pushing the limit of technology, right? Either either slow or fast, but we are always pushing the limit. And as a individual level, we have to educate ourselves well, and what AI, the technology, can do to us. And then, once we understand more, we can express our view. We can impact the society. We can impact the decision-making procedure when government are making regulatory, laws to this aspect. This is very important.
Yeah. What kind of jobs do
Mhm.
you see opening up because of AI?
The new jobs opening, to make, there are some direct new jobs. Let's see, the prompt engineering. Before, we don't have people labeling the data and try to teach the machine to do human tasks.
Right.
A new job is created for those kind of people. They label data and teach the computer what a human should do. It's kind of a checklist, or some up and some down to teach the machines. This is a new job. But also, with the AI as an assistant, there are some opportunities opening. For example, in the fashion industry, right? And before, only someone who finished their 4 years degree in the university can do some designs. But now, with the help of AI, right, and you can start your career in the designing, and with the help of AI, which it creates some new opportunities, which means the new jobs uh, for people. Yeah.
So, so for people, there's been a big push to teach coding to students.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so now there's indication that AI will take over that
Yeah.
function. And so if somebody wants to learn how to write a great prompts or to become a prompt engineer, which
Yeah.
I think would be an amazing job. I would love to do that.
Yes.
What would they need to do?
If we say about the programming, you mentioned about the coding part, right? Coding is a language between human and the computer, right? And we call it a programming language or coding language because it's a kind of interactive way.
Yeah.
But before, it's only the programmers or the coder, computer scientists, they can communicate with the computer, but all the other users are just using the Windows or graphics to do some limited features. But nowadays, with the prompt, with large language models, it lowered the bar of the communication between human and computer. Nowadays, for example, you don't know code, but you can write the code. You can ask the ChatGPT or our language model to write some Python code, some data analytics code for you. This is even lower the bar. You don't have to spend 4 years in MIT or to do a coding study.
Yeah,
No.
I recently took a course in studying. I wanted to learn more about
Yes.
prompts, and I realized that one of the options you had in the course, and it was a very difficult course for me, was that you could, if you wanted to, you could use ChatGPT to help you answer the questions or to help you write the reporting or whatever the directive was. And there were people who had ChatGPT do it for them. And I didn't do it during the course, but after,
Uh,
I wanted to
uh,
see the way ChatGPT would phrase the
mhm.
answer. And just like having ChatGPT help you write a prompt,
Yeah.
or the
Yes.
ChatGPT is really an extraordinary assistant. And taking a course or going through some educational process
Hmm.
with ChatGPT as your support or teacher in a way, where ChatGPT can help you frame the answer. And
Yes.
for us, it's been extremely helpful. I know
Yes, it is.
you and I have had conversations about some of the efficient assistant tasks that ChatGPT can do, that you use and I use. What are some of the uses for now you're in a
Hmm.
very technical area,
Yes.
and there are things that you might call ChatGPT on. What would
To
be some examples?
Yes. Well, I have been using ChatGPT basically daily, you know, and before we wrote papers, right? Academic papers. We do experiments and wrote papers and publish them. One thing bothered me a lot is I have to spend a long time in formatting, right? In try to tune up the language, try to make it easy to understand to other readers. It costs a lot of my energy. It's nothing related to the core idea of the scientific research,
Right.
right? For now, I use it to help me write the paper. I don't need to worry about the writing, and English is not my first language. Then, with ChatGPT, the articles that I can output, it has my idea, it has my scientific research results, but also it has the first quality of the writing, and other readers can easily understand. It saves me a lot of time. And
Yes.
secondly, my job, I have been dealing with a lot of reports. I have to do business strategies and slides, and and on this, one thing I really myself am not enjoying that much is how do I formalize my language? I have the idea, I can spend 2 days in thinking about what should I do, what should I do next, and all the ideas in my brain, but I want to convey this to the team, right? I don't have to spend days in writing those ideas down. But with the GPT, I can get a white paper or technical white paper within hour.
Yeah.
Before it is weeks, but now I get 2 hours. I have a very good drafted technical paper with ideas in it. This, is something to significantly improves our working efficiency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember you shared a,
The
a document from ChatGPT because you also do talks and speeches on
yes,
the subject more high
yes,
level than maybe this one is. And it was a very extensive sort of interaction with a group of people over a period of time. And
yes,
document laid out everything, including coffee breaks and when
yes.
we discuss different things. And it is just such an incredible help. But I think where people have the most challenge is in asking ChatGPT the
Mhm.
question, right? How
Yes.
much they get back from ChatGPT. So, do you have any tips for writing a good prompt? Like, is there any simple tips that you can recommend for writing a good prompt?
Yeah. One thing, before I mentioned how to write the prompt, one thing I want to share with you, Norma, is that the ChatGPT lowered the bar of us in, communicating with the computer. And then what is the space it leaves human to do? It's more on creative. It's more on the core part, which are the idea, right? And the humanity part,
Right.
right? The beauty thing. And those are, the computer couldn't replace. Then, we come back to the prompt. How do we make a prompt? First, you need to know what you want. This is very important. For example, you have an idea, you can tell, I want to write something, write a report on what, right? First, you need to have a very clear objective. This is important. And secondly, it's use simple language, right? And do not, I would say, use quite complicated structure. Use simple language and try to put your objective explained. The computer will understand. Why I would emphasize on the simplicity of the question is that when the AI model is trained, right, it is labeled by a lot of people, and their language is not that complicated. To make it structured, right, to make it structured and easy to understand will help you talk to the machine, because the machine is taught by the human, right? Yeah.
One of the things that I thought originally when I was told to keep the language simple, I didn't write enough. I maybe used 3 words to.
That's too short.
Right. So what I learned was that if I gave the information about the situation, the place, the time, why it was happening, if I gave it more of a background, like if you're looking at a picture and you give it the full picture and the details, sometimes specifics that might influence the answer. So I realized that simple didn't mean 3 words.
Yes,
it meant
simple
words, but in a very almost in a visual way where you can see the outcome, and then magic happens. In my situation, somebody had presented me with an outline for a film about me. And I read the outline and it was lovely, but it didn't, in my mind, capture me totally. And so I asked ChatGPT to write an outline for a film about me. And I gave it some context, right? Just an overall context.
It improves.
And it came back to me with an extraordinary film outline that is very relevant and was very on, but it also came up with a name for the film. And recently, not too long ago, I wrote a book called I Am Invincible. And ChatGPT came back with the name Invincible Threads. Now, threads obviously have to do with clothes, right? And invincible. And so the name of my podcast is Invincible Threads.
Wow.
Because ChatGPT came up with a really great option. So I asked ChatGPT, we all do here, for feedback about names, maybe for our e-blasts or for, content that we want to engage our clients. So it's really it's really incredibly helpful.
It is. Yeah.
So if you were to advise someone, maybe a Gen Z person who is just graduating from school or going into college, to think about what they should study that you feel will give them more opportunities in this world now, what would you recommend?
Yeah, Norma, you either well said regarding the prompt. It's a simple language doesn't mean short. We have to provide the context very well explained on this part. and which impact, we have the prompt, we have the chat GPT, and then the people will ask what the students, what our next generation, they should learn. Should they learn how to interact with a computer? The answer definitely is a yes, right? Again, on this topic, what the students should learn, our next generation, I've been thinking a lot on this part. My short answer is this, it's not about the knowledge we should be focusing on that much. I did my study in China when I was a kid, and the education system is force you to memorize a lot of things. But I couldn't understand what I memorized. I just, try to repeat it a lot of times, so I kind of remember them. But this is not good. Especially, it's getting worse with ChatGPT because knowledge is never a barrier. It's not about you know this or you don't know this, because the machine or the ChatGPT will help you to
Right.
memorize all this. Then what matters the most is about your thinking, capability, the logic. That matters so much. The machine is still doing pretty bad in linking things together. For example, you can derive a new strategy by watching a movie. Hey, I watched a war movie or watch a drama movie, but then I think, oh, this is something similar to our work I'm currently working on. You can, although those two things are not related at all, but I can derive something similar. This is about our thinking, capability. You know how to analyze the complicated tasks, linking the dots together.
Yeah.
This is very important. I would say focus more on creativeness, on logic, and not that much on hard memorizing things.
Yeah. And so as far as a course goes, what type of courses do you think are the ones that are the most sensible?
Yeah, on this part, just my personal experience, definitely like, the next generation, they should know how the computer works, which, introduction to computer science, or maybe pick one coding language. It will help them because among this, the students will learn logic because computer science is more on logic, and then statistics also very important, and to help the students to know, right? And yeah, I would say on the computer science part, those two are must for our generation to learn, to pick up.
And would you recommend that high school students or even younger still study coding and learn how to do coding?
I would suggest yes. Suggest the high school students especially, and to start picking up the concepts, because the concepts is not that complicated. They don't have to try to write a high efficient C++ programming, but they should understand what is the step by step of the logic, the computer works, or the statistics, how the statistics works. Those concepts help the students to further growth. And another, when I was doing my PhD, the first subject is research methods. What the research method means? It teaches you how to do the critical thinking, which is very important, right? Nowadays, and even more important in the future, right? It is when something happened, how do you think the problem, right? You're linking the dots from this pros and cons, and and try to link different dots together and come up with a solution. This also very important. But definitely those are on the technical point of view. Then for the other parts, maybe from history or from mathematics, all those, there are also some important lessons to learn.
Yeah, but like you said, the most important thing is the critical view on thinking and logical thinking and sort of the orderly approach to looking at this machine. And the machine is doing it very simply and logically. And I think we can end with this when you and I had a conversation about how the machine has to understand the difference between an apple and a banana in order
Yes.
to take the conversation further. So it has to learn it first, identify it, and then it can function. So that simple
Simple thing. Yes.
example is really the sort of the thread for AI. It's simple. It has to learn it. Once it learns it, it's in and it's set, and that you can then go to the next thing that it will learn and it's set, and it just keeps going.
Yes.
So do you have any final word or advice about AI that you could share?
Yes, as you said, Norma, the machines or the AI, it evolving, all the time. Especially recently, OpenAI released this, Microsoft released that, and we experienced so much advancement of the computer science and AI, and definitely we have to stay sharp, right, and stay curious. And on this thing, I remember one good saying is, if you know more, you can do more. And I would, encourage the individuals, and including yourself and myself, and we learn more and try to get ourselves educated about the most advanced technique. We know it, then we know how to use it well. This is very important. It's about our attitude to the world, right? We want to, live in a better world, and then we want to know the best technology it has.
And so right now, for the average consumer, ChatGPT 3.5 and 4 are available. What are your thoughts about 5, 6, 7, 8? What's happening there?
Yeah, actually, I watched a couple of episodes, from Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, right? And the ChatGPT 3.5 and 4 already did a good job. We have to admit that. But we want more, right? Then the question is, when is 5? And according to their official notes, they are not working on the GPT-5, but who knows? But what I believe is that definitely they are working on it. And either in the gap between GPT-3 and GPT-4, it is 3 years, right? And it takes some time and to reach another level. But we human, especially scientists, they're not stopping, right? And keep moving forward.
And there's really a significant difference between 3 and 4. I mean,
it is.
It's an amazing difference. Well, I'm hoping that everybody who is afraid will not be afraid, and that they listen and take your advice on the adventure. And maybe we can meet again and pick a topic that we focus on for AI. And thank you so much for taking the time to do an intro for our viewers on